All right, we're back, and we're welcoming Mark and Tilly to the podcast. Mark and Tilly, welcome to the pod, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks, great to be here.
Yeah.
Okay, you might be wondering who Mark and Tilly are. And Tilly really is the star of this group, and Mark being her dad. We found out about Tilly when, Mark, you tweeted at Always Cheating last weekend to say, after game week 9, Tilly, your daughter, was ranked number 2 in the Always Cheating Super League. And for those of you who aren't in the Super League, this is our public league that's free to join, and there are nearly 20,000 managers in that league. And Tilly, the very talented 8-year-old, is ranked number 2 after game week 9.
By comparison's sake, Brandon is ranked like 15,000 right now, so it's pretty good.
We just had to meet you and have you on the podcast and find out how you're doing this season, how you're doing so well this season.
Yeah. How are you doing so well? What are your tips, sweetheart?
Well, I don't listen to Daddy.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. Yeah. Really
That
smart.
is one of the tips, isn't it? Yeah. So we wildcarded after week 1 because you wanted to get some Villa players in because we're both Aston Villa fans. And we had room for one more cheap defender. And so I showed her all like the typical kind of guys you might go for. Here's some options, Lamptey and Walker-Peters. And what did you say?
I want a Villa defender.
Yeah,
Smart.
so I said, no, you don't want a Villa defender. But we showed us some Villa defenders and said, we got Cash and we got Target. But you said you wanted Konsa, yeah. And I said, no, you really don't want Ezri Konsa. But we decided to go for Konsa. And of course, he got, do you remember how many points he got that week? 15 points, yeah.
Wow.
They won 1-0. He got man of the match. He scored the only goal. He got a clean sheet. And so from then on in, we decided, I think we'll just go with whatever Tilly wants.
Right. And it's working out so well for you right now. You're
great,
ranked 634 overall in the world after the Manchester United-Southampton match. So, Dad, how do you feel? How do you feel about this? Are you feeling jealous? Do you feel like maybe you're creating a monster here and you're never gonna win in the household again?
Yeah, I've become more interested in her team than my team. I run like 3 or 4 teams at the moment, not including Tilly's, and my teams do dreadful. But
Yeah, I was going to say, how are you? Do you know what your rank is right now, Mark? How you're doing so far in the game?
I really don't know. I think I'm inside the top million, which is kind of normal for me, just to be about there, just to be okay. But
Yeah.
I've never been anywhere near as high as Tilly.
So Tilly, you're an Aston Villa fan, and I like Villa. I have 3 Villa players in my fantasy team right now too. I've got 2 defenders, so I'm with you. I didn't get the right one though. I got Matt Target, he was okay, but Konsa, I think he was the best. And I got Martinez, who I think is a really good goalkeeper. I think you guys are really lucky to have him. And then I didn't get Jack Grealish, and I do regret that a little bit. He's pretty good.
Yeah, that was one of the players you insisted on at the beginning. So, I insisted on some cheap players. I thought, well, if you get these, you can afford some better players.
Yeah.
And then who did you insist on? Do you remember which were your players you wanted in your team? Yeah, do you remember who they were? Grealish, yeah.
Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Watkins, yeah.
And Salah.
And Kane, because that was the name of her team. Is no Kane, no gain. And so it's kind of been like a self-fulfilling prophecy that she kept Kane and she kept going.
He's been so good all year. Well, so Tilly, our goal on the podcast, the goal for this season is to make fantasy fun again and make sure that we're having fun. So what, for you, when you play fantasy, when you're watching the matches, what is the most fun part to you? What do you like the most?
I like it when my players do really well and score all the goals.
That's smart.
Which has happened a lot this year.
Do you have a favorite player, Tilly?
Well, I have some favorite players. I've got Harry Kane, Jack Grealish, Son, and Salah.
Those guys are all good.
So go ahead,
Josh.
Who do you like?
What's that?
Who do you like? Who are your favorite players, Josh?
Who are mine? That's a good question. Well, I love Juan Mata, who doesn't really play that much anymore. And I loved Santi. See, Tilly, I'm short, so I love all of the short players. So I love Sergio Aguero, Juan Mata, Santi Cazorla, who used to play for Arsenal. Who are some other short guys that really, if you're short, I'm probably going to be a fan of you as a player.
Yeah, though this has not been a banner season for short players. Daniel Podence, who is a player I've had in my team, not really done well. I'm doing much better with the tall players like Harry Kane. So I think, speaking of Kane, he's been a great captaincy option. Tilly, how do you come to decide who your captain is going to be week to week? Do you have any special tricks there?
Well, Daddy shows me all the players that I can get, and he gives me some options, and I choose which one of those I want.
Do you just go on your instinct? You just have a feeling that particular player is going to do well that week?
Yeah.
It's a gut call. I feel like sometimes that's the best way to manage your fantasy team, is just go with your gut instinct and don't pour over the stats.
Yeah, so, she picks names she likes as well. So you say about making fantasy fun. I guess for Tilly, it's picking players that she likes to root for as well, which I know isn't a great fantasy tactic, but it just adds an extra dimension where the Villa players that she wants to follow, she actually picks for the team and then gets to root for them with an added dimension, which is.
I think that is more fun. I like having at least one or two players that I have Marcus Rashford in my team right now, and he hasn't really done much in my team, but he's just a great guy to have because I just like him. I want him to do well because he's such a nice person. So Tilly, I have a question for you. You met my daughter at the very start of this call, and she's 4, much younger than you, half your age. But when did you start playing? When did you, do you remember, is this your first season doing fantasy with your dad, or have you done it before?
I haven't done it before. Well, I think I started at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you remember how you started? Who was playing?
My uncle with his children.
Your 2 cousins, yeah.
Yeah, and they wanted to pick their players, and I asked if I could do my team, so I joined in, and I'm playing now.
So what's the buy-in here, Tilly? Like £1,000? That's what you had to spend to get into this big family pool.
College fund.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I just spent the first month just setting you up for disappointment. Like, this is going to be hard, and just make sure you try and get above your cousins, Joshua and Jacob, and that's your own competition. But basically, the kind of like family league that we're in, she's already won it already, so she's so far ahead of everybody else.
100 points up. So do you get anything if you win, Tilly? Is it just bragging rights, or do you get is there a prize?
I don't know.
There was no prize decided. I just didn't expect to do this well, so we're gonna have to decide on the prize.
You got to make your dad take you out to dinner or something, Tilly. If you win. What's your favorite kind of food?
Well, my favorite meal is chicken wraps.
Yeah, chicken fajitas. Yeah, chicken wraps. We have. Yeah.
Right.
They come sizzling right out of the kitchen.
That's the rule.
Mark, for you, it must be a dream. I mean, to be a parent and to be a football fan and to get your kids involved at an early age. I mean, were you kind of planning on this to get Tilly involved, or just kind of a happy accident? And what is it like now on the weekends when you as a family can kind of share in that football experience? It must be a blast.
Well, it is actually great just to do it together, yeah, as father and daughter. But like I say, I wasn't that keen on her getting involved because it is a life of frustration and misery sometimes, fantasy football, and just constant making the wrong choice. And so I keep trying to set her up for that. That look, there is still a chance that you're going to plummet down the leagues, and it's not it's not going to be a happy ending. But she just kept getting better and better, and so it has been a happy accident.
Well, hopefully when the lockdowns are lifted, you guys can actually go see some real football. How far away are you from Villa Park?
We're just a couple of miles away. It's just a bus ride really.
Yeah.
Over into Birmingham. Yeah,
Well,
we got to go to a couple of important games last year, not with Tilly, but
yeah.
get highlights of Villa staying up last year.
As a Fulham supporter, I've gotten to know this squad a fair bit. We had that amazing championship final in which I think it was Ryan Fredericks tried to actually break Jack Grealish's leg. Not that we condone that kind of activity, but it's been great to see that Villa squad sort of stick with it and come back up and to do what they're doing now.
Absolutely.
That does actually remind me, Brandon, we went to the King Power. There was that girl behind us who yelled, "Break his legs!"
Yeah, there were not a lot of Jack Grealish fans at that Leicester match for sure, but I think he's the type of player that engenders that sort of reaction. Everyone's just jealous of how skilled and how handsome he is. Man, I do love Jack Grealish too.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Villa Park. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Yes, guys, say him playing for England has kind of brought people together. Because he was very divisive for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's we went to we had one of our Patreon supporters, Paul Parsons, got us tickets to the Leicester match last season. So we went to the King Power, and it was really, it was very interesting going to a match in the. Have you been to Villa Park before, Tilly? Have you gone with your dad to a match?
No.
Oh, one day. Maybe that'll be your prize. Maybe there'll be fans.
The prize, yeah. That could be the prize.
That'd be fun. But it was really cool because we'd seen matches in London and we'd seen matches in Manchester. But I actually think the King Power experience was maybe the most fun because it really felt like a family experience. And like this guy Paul who took us around, he was like the mayor of the King Power. I mean, everywhere he went, he was saying hi to people, and it was really cool. I mean, it reminded me of I actually think in American sports, the college football or college sports experience is closer to the Premier League than the professional experience because you have people wearing jerseys and
singing songs
and you don't get that as much in the American, baseball. It's a little more like you just wear your normal clothes, it's not quite as, it seems it's really cool. So maybe next time we're in England, we can go up to Villa Park and we can meet you guys.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah. Really
Tilly, do you ever think you're going to put on your own boots and get out there on the pitch and play football yourself?
No.
No.
We've made our house into a makeshift football pitch a few times and tried to recreate some Jack Grealish moments.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's
I've
awesome.
been doing that with my daughter too. Yeah, we're kicking the ball around in the backyard a little bit too. So, all right. So Tilly, final question. Do you have any advice for all the fantasy managers out there who wish that they were 634 in the world?
Well, I think my daddy would want to be. And maybe my uncle.
Have you got any advice for people? People how to pick players and how to do well?
Yeah, we're not listening to Mark or to your uncle, Tilly. I'm sorry.
We trust you, Tilly. Only you.
But that is, you make your own decisions, don't you?
Yeah.
What things do you look at when you picking players?
Well, I like the names of them, and
so every player called James, she's got in her team. She's got James James Rodriguez and Reece James because of her uncle James.
Oh.
Yeah, you just make your own decisions, don't you?
I feel like you fit right in with the Always Cheating family, Tilly, because Josh and I pick players for their names legendarily. Poku, Mbakani, Sorloth, Vokes. These are all players that for one reason or another really captured our attention, and their names are a big part of that. So I think that's a great thing.
I think make your own decisions is really good advice too, because I think that that's something that is actually very hard for people to do. It's something even I struggle with. You see all these people out there telling you, oh, you got to get this person, you got to get this person. It sounds like Tilly, your dad probably says, oh, you got to get this person. And, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I think when you make your own decisions and things go really well, that's more fun anyway, because you picked it yourself, and it was your choice. Congrats to you. I think it's really cool that you're doing so well this year.
Yeah, congrats, Tilly. And thank you for coming on the Always Cheating podcast. We hope you'll remember us when flash forward a few years, and you have the biggest FPL podcast going right now.
When Arsenal fan TV, and we're just a distant memory.
Right. And we should also thank Jim Payne, who kind of is the glue that holds this call together. We love you, Jim, and
his wife has given us strict instructions not to feed his ego.
Fair enough.
Be careful what we say.
Too late now, I think. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. All right. Well, great to meet both of you, Mark and Tilly. And the Spurs Chelsea match is about to kick off. So good luck. I assume you have Reece James playing, Tilly. So good luck to you. And Harry Kane probably too, right?
Yeah.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks.
Enjoy the rest of the season.
Great to see you.
All right.
Bye.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.